Hi, welcome to Millennial Diary.
It's your girl, Kayla.
I'm Rachel. This is the beginning
The beginning.
of this episode.
Okay, so today, on a serious note, because today we are talking about mental health.
Yes, we are.
So I feel like I kind of wanted to dive in. Let me move this closer. I feel like I wanted to dive
That
in
was so dramatic.
to mental health because it was just time. And that's something that's like really big and major right now, especially within our community. Because I feel like it's always been like a negative thing to address mental health. And I want to take I guess that stigma away that like having mental health issues is not a negative thing.
Right.
And
Everyone has a brain.
and sometimes you just go through things and life affects you in different way. And I mean, if you're affected, I mean, it's okay to receive help. And I feel like because it is a disability that you cannot see, then it must not be real.
Oh, that's real. That's real, really real.
And I hate that though. Like just because because I suffer from depression like really bad, which is another during our first episode we're talking about like things that kind of like held me back and things. But I think my mental health is like a huge part of it.
Mhm.
And before I wasn't able, I guess, to like understand it and unpacked it because I didn't have, I'm living in a black family. And that's just, oh, you're sad. Okay, well, go to school and shake it off.
Yeah, sweep things under the rug. Don't talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm so used to just going. So then when I am unable to go anymore, I'm embarrassed. So I don't want to tell anyone. I just want to be secretive about myself
Ooh.
because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to admit that you're not strong enough that day because we've been raised to believe that crying and having a bad day is a negative and pray it away and I get that. And yes, I'm a Christian, so I'm never going to like act like prayer doesn't work, but sometimes it doesn't. Some and if it does, sometimes it's not right away. Sometimes it takes you working towards it. I think people have to choose being in a good mood and then work towards it. But sometimes you're just not strong enough to do that. And it's okay to admit that and seek help in other ways. Sorry, I feel
No,
passionate
I
about
no,
this.
like I appreciate you giving that because I'm just like, wow, I learned a lot of things.
And I think that's probably why I want to do what I do now. Like I want to work with kids. I want to be
Oh,
a
I went to school
licensed
for that. Okay,
therapist
that makes sense.
with for kids.
But to your point, like there is strength in knowing that I don't always have to be okay. And it's okay for me to have a day or some just time to
Yes.
just not be my best. That doesn't
Yes.
necessarily mean, like you said, that there's anything wrong with you or there might be something and you may need to seek a little bit of like resources and just have somebody listen to you. And there's nothing
Yes.
wrong with
And
that.
I hate that people are embarrassed by it. Like, I hate I just hate the shame behind it all, like being anxious or feeling depressed or just anything, like even having a diagnosis of being bipolar or schizophrenic. I think we look at it and we think about movies and we see things that kind of like I guess jade our mind. So
Mm.
we see it a certain way. So then if you do have like a diagnosis that it I guess is a little more extreme, like the bipolar or depression, or not depression, but bipolar and schizophrenic, then you're crazy. And they expect for you to look a certain way. And then if you don't, then you just playing nothing wrong with you.
See, and that's to my ignorance because I'm over here like to the opposite of your point. It's like because sometimes people are impressionable and they do things and say things for attention or just for a trend or to follow. Some people aren't depressed or schizophrenic or bipolar and they either act like they are or have been intentionally misdiagnosed. Like it's crazy.
Which makes it and this is about to sound so crazy, but I almost wish I was still in a place where I didn't really know about it.
Mm.
Like, I didn't know a lot because now it feels like it is a trend.
Everybody's
So it's even more embarrassing to say it because I don't want people to think that I'm just playing. And then sometimes I'll like talk to myself and I'll be like, okay, you just being dramatic. Like nothing wrong. Like you're fine. And and then I don't be.
mm.
Like
Kayla, I respect this being a topic, like, for real. I'm glad you made this a topic, like, we're just really like, the show we kinda wing, we kinda have bullet points, but this episode, we just coming from the heart,
yeah, for sure.
really, like and it's just I don't know, I'm just thinking 'cause you say you work with kids,
Mhm.
as, like, your career, and I mean, it's a career path, I coach kids, so I see kids and their mental in a whole different, like, psyche
Okay.
because they have to go see you. You know what?
But you know
Not
what?
really,
Not really.
but you're in the school, like, as a advisor.
So, because I'm not licensed, sadly, I am not in that therapist role per se,
Okay,
but because of my background, that's something that they kind of dump on me.
okay,
So,
yeah,
technically, I'm only supposed to be in the school dealing with like extreme behavioral issues or like extreme like absences.
okay,
Um, but
but still,
if a
they have
kid
to come
is
see you,
having,
though.
yes, if they're having one of those issues, they have to come see me, but I'm only discussing that information.
Right,
I'm not really supposed to be checking their mental health, but I do.
yeah,
And because they know that I'm kind of doing that already, they will throw other kids to me who are experiencing. So if anybody in the building start crying, they's coming
come
to
to
see Miss
Kayla.
K.
So see, and to that point, it's like they have to see. Whereas a
Yeah.
coach, they don't have to come to be a cheerleader or a dancer. They signed up for this because they want to do this,
Yeah.
or their parents might have forced them. But like they, so when I see them, it's like them in their freest sense because they want to be there. So it's just sad the things that literally have to witness these young girls and young men
Mhm.
go through and then still have to go to school, still have to get good grades, still gotta eat, still gotta attempt to have a social life, a real one if they can, or social media. It's
It's
just so sad.
so
I feel so bad for
much.
these kids
But
and
you
their
know what?
mental.
I almost feel bad for everyone because even though they're dealing with the lie, I even feel like us as millennials, we're dealing with the lie just based off of the conversations we've had here so far
Yeah.
with finance, even off camera
Right.
conversations dealing with financial. We're like at a point where I think financially, in my mind, I should be at a certain level.
Mm.
And that's a lot of pressure on
And
someone.
she is, y'all. Don't
But you know, you
okay.
look at yourself,
Pressure.
and then I get on freaking Instagram, just like a high schooler would be, but instead the high schooler might be looking at shoes and cars, and I'm looking like, dang, I need that house. You know, like, dang, I need to, what am I doing with my life? I need to start a family. I'm
Stop
getting older.
comparing, stop scrolling,
Yeah.
stop lurking, stop caring what people think.
Yes, yes.
Kayla,
And that's
and you too, viewers.
and you know that's easier said than done
Keep telling
because
yourself, keep saying that
even
shit.
even and you're right. You're totally right. But
But
sometimes
it's hard.
you're just not strong enough to do it.
Or you're strong enough to know that you don't always gotta do it.
Always do it. And sometimes and that's when I said like really like choosing to be happy is not always just an easy task for
Oh
most
yeah,
people.
no.
And sometimes you have to work towards it. So that's what I'm saying, like knowing your limits, knowing when you need to shut it off and
Mhm.
shut it down, knowing who you can and who you can't follow. I don't take it personal if someone I'm cool with isn't following me. I don't even ask. Because it's probably something else going. It's not always me. I can't always be selfish. And I hope that people see because I don't follow I mean, if you look down my freaking Instagram, it is nothing but hair, fashion, makeup, like light stuff. Like I don't follow all or I'll watch like NBA highlights and stuff like that. Like and post that
Are
on my little
you wanna go
story.
to a Cavs game?
Of course.
Hey, get us some tickets, Cavs. Get Millennial Diaries podcast courtside seats,
That would
please
be
and thank.
dope.
I don't know, man. Like that's just interesting to hear because I'm just, and you said it several times. I'm just so not into social media. Like I'm on it for my businesses and to connect with the people that I know across the world and keep in touch with them and for the comedy and to stay up to date on certain
Yeah.
things. But like I just don't take people's follows and their comments and their opinions that deep because really, you're not about to say it to my face. Or you might say it to me. You might really show me love in person. So if you show me love online, I appreciate it. But
Yeah.
there comes that other side where people take what the negative is like,
And they
it's not even
hold it.
real. Like, you cannot go to Instagram. You cannot go to Facebook. Well, I mean, you can go to their headquarters. It's in California, something hacker way, which is a weird name.
I
But
didn't even know that.
I know a lot of things, Kayla. You know, my mind go deep. I be in the rabbit holes, Kayla, like, yeah. But I keep it very light here with you. No, like you cannot go to these social media things, even with Meta.
Yeah.
You cannot go there. Why, as a society, do we hold so much weight over this shit? Like,
I don't.
I remember this is when I knew we were messed up. I was in college, I was a kid, and this is when Trump, and we're not getting political. I just remember when he was saying, I'm gonna run for president. Me and my roommates was awesome because he was still like a reality
Mhm.
star. Me and my friends like I'm not gonna say the N word, but I was like, what if he run for president and really win, y'all? This was like 2015, 2014, 2015.
That's
And he
crazy.
did. And but the point I'm trying to make is dang, I got off on a tangent. What was I talking about?
I mean, we're just kind of talking about
I don't know what I
how
was gonna say. The
social media
news,
and
like
stuff.
that's when I was in college, that's when I started noticing like the news was so out of date. They were getting their information from social media. Like a prime example, because we love a good example. I was at Kent and there was I don't really think it was a shooting, but it might have been an active shooter situation there. And they had everything on lockdown. And I remember one of my friends, one of my teammates, she was in whatever building in the classroom, they were locked down. Nobody got hurt, everybody was safe. But she was recording it like live and it went viral on Twitter. And when I say this was on the main like local news channels, and that's when I just started noticing the trend, like news channels are really getting all their information from Twitter, from
And
Instagram, from Facebook. When you watch the news, you see the handles at the bottom of the screen, like how it's gonna be for our podcast is crazy.
the crazy thing about even hearing you say that is my mom will be like, "Did you see so and so happen?" "Oh no, you didn't see it because you don't watch the news." I'm like, "I saw it on Twitter already." Like
Our parents definitely work at Shaker, so they have to be talking about the news at Shaker because that's exactly what my dad says. When our parents watch it, they're gonna crack up. But yeah, I'm like, that's the same thing I said. No, I saw it on the internet already, and I saw the full story, or
I
like I
mean,
got all the
because
details.
we are in that social media day and age, like that's what it is. And I don't think, or I know that's not going to change. Like, this is going to be our new norm where we look on our social media handles to figure out what's going on in the world because we are the ones in the world. They're at the news. Like, where are they at? They're at the headquarters. They're not out there experiencing. I get notifications all the time when I'm at Case and they'll say like something's going on, but they're using social media to tell us that because that's the quickest way to get in contact with people
Yeah.
nowadays. However, social media impacts the way we think and the way we see each other in such a negative way that some people aren't as strong as you. Some people can't put it down, or some people don't have that confidence within themselves to look at themselves and say, I'm beautiful without those likes to follow behind it.
Mhm.
And it's super sad. And
It's
then
sad.
I think it's even more sad that we have a generation of, I mean, maybe our parents and their parent, our grandparents as well, of those people looking at the younger generation saying, "Oh, nothing's wrong with them. Oh, I don't know why that girl crying. Just turn it off." And it's just like, well, that's not gonna work. Like, we're once they're at that point, they're too far gone.
Mhm.
And then, like you said, then they have to deal with their appearance on the internet, how they look in high school, like walking down the
High
hallways.
school, middle
Like
school. It's as
these
young
gir
as middle school.
I mean, look at how prom looks nowadays.
Oh,
I mean, they are getting slayed, but
girl. Mm.
like life is just different now.
These kids don't even understand, like, to your point with the whole mental health and just social media, like, I'll be coaching these girls. They look older than me, beautiful girls, but I like the fact that I look youthful. I like the fact that people be like, "Oh, you're their coach? I thought you was on the team."
One
But then they'll be like, "Coach Rachel, this grown man just tried to." Yeah, girl,
because
you got a full lace front, you got these long acrylic nails, you got hair down in your butt. I'm
and
not saying
I
that,
feel like all of that is because of social media.
yeah, and I'm not vouching for men being, but how would he know? You look more grown than me.
And most times they do. Most of the little girls in the high school that I'm in now look like me and them could go out and hang out.
But to your point to social media, you know why they're doing that? Because they're impressionable and they thinking that's what you everybody want to be grown. This generation really want to be grown, but don't get it.
And as soon as you take it away, it just makes it worse. Soon as you say, okay, no more Instagram, it makes it worse. And that's why I'm saying like it's super important for the older generations to, I guess, receive knowledge or search for knowledge to really figure out like about depression and anxiety and
Mm,
things like that, because I feel like honestly for most of the kiddos that I even work with now, it's just too late. Like they've already been imprinted
because
on.
I was gonna say it's been passed down, not how learning how to deal with it. But then two, I'm not gonna say because you're in the high school, not the high schoolers that you with, but the kids younger than them. I really feel for this generation of James. You could chime in. They're like we were saying earlier, it's over. It's like hyper to this point. All these kids are just like, I don't know, they're not gonna be well. I don't think they're gonna be well.
I and it's sad. I don't either.
Because I feel like we're the last generation that was like, okay, yeah, there's social media and all this technology, but we still know how to socialize. We can sit in this room and talk and none of us pick up our phone and be cool.
I always say I know how to work around. If I
That's
have a
facts.
job interview, if I go in, oh, I got the job. As soon as they say we want to bring you in for an interview, it's mine
I have a
because
job.
I can work, I can communicate, I can work a room. I know what to say. I know what I could just look at you and know what you want to hear. And most of these kids can't.
They have no
Even
social.
in the high school level and down, like I've had, and this was years ago, maybe about 4 years ago. I had a client. I was trying to get him to order a pizza. He couldn't do it.
Yo,
Like,
one of my girls, because I deal with a lot of freshmen, didn't know how to tie her shoe. I'm not even joking. I'm sorry if you
oh
see
no, that
this.
might be a different situation going
She
on
was
with
like, my
that
mom,
sweetheart.
no. She said, my mom always ties my shoes. You are 14.
What do you mean?
That's what I was like, huh?
But
Huh?
and that brings me back to mental health. I feel like, and I'm not trying to judge that little girl, but that could have been like an underlying something going on upstairs.
Yeah, it was,
But
she was one of the problem
it's
children.
literally being looked over every single time. And it's heartbreaking because even in this high school, working with other adults, that and it's sad because a lot of people in this profession get burnt out. So they aren't really looking at the child anymore. They're more so just looking at the behavior. So they see him come in and he's angry, and the first thing for them is to suspend him and send him home. Well, maybe he's angry because of home, and you're sending him back to that environment, and this is the only place where he feels like he can breathe. Now, yes, he's still mad and pissed off and causing havoc, but it's because he can't release at home.
Because they'd never taught him how to from the generation.
And it's no telling what they're doing to him at
Mm-mm.
home. Home
Yeah.
might not
Thank
be a safe
you.
place. Like everybody not going home to a pillow. Like some people going home to rocks. So it's just like we don't take the time to look deeper into like addressing the mental health
That's a good point.
aspect, which is why I wanted to talk about it so bad. And like I said from the beginning, like because it's not visible, it just feels like it's not real. So it
Oh,
doesn't need to be addressed.
oh, and you know what makes me like the thought that comes off of you saying that is like 2 points. Don't let me forget. It's two
Okay.
points.
Good
The
point.
one, diagnosing. So like ADHD and ADD, for example, diagnosing it in boys is completely different than diagnosing it in girls, from my understanding and my knowledge.
I don't know why this world thinks everyone's a copy and a paste. If it works for you, it's definitely going to work for you.
And
And
then
that's with everything.
so it's like you got the diagnosing and then the resources. So that's why I'm glad that you made this a topic because we can hopefully link some resources, or if anybody in the community that's watching this is a resource, please feel free to, collaborate with us in any way.
Yeah, and like
But
maybe we can have like an episode with someone, because I'm
yeah,
not, even though I have a strong background in it, I'm not technically a licensed therapist yet. But maybe we can have like a licensed
I would love
therapist or
that.
something on,
Yeah.
just to even give us more feedback and share with other people. And even because mothers are going to watch this, and people with children are going to watch this.
We should
And
do an episode on that. I know a lady that owns or is like the CEO of a birthing center. Yeah, it's in Cleveland. I was bartending for her at her house at a private event, and I was like, "Girl, Imma call you in a
Oh,
few years because I rather do a water burn." Huh?
nice.
But yeah, no, we definitely need more resources, and I feel like to our point of the podcast itself, like our community, we got more resources now, but think about people in our generation, how much more our generation as a whole could have been had we had the
Had we
resources
had the
back then
resources.
versus, oh, this little black boy acting up in class, he got ADD or ADHD, let me put him on a pill.
And and it's so crazy because I'm, like, stuck in the middle with how I feel about everything, and maybe because I study it, so that's why. So, no, every child does not need medication, but some do.
Some do.
Some do.
It
Some could benefit just from a little bit, and then that's my whole other thing. Give pushback. You as a parent, you can say, "He acts like a zombie. You need to reduce it."
Yeah.
It's okay to advocate for your children. And I feel like so many times parents aren't advocating because they dealing with some mental
I feel
stuff
like
too.
because of that, oh, that's definitely. But then I also too think
Excuse me.
about all the, and I don't want us to get into this area because this is why I didn't say much in the first episode because you know I have healthcare background, pharmacy, like yeah. So I don't know. My best friend, shout out to Shalonda Baker. She has her
Well,
master's in herbal medicine. I think maybe people should look into herbal
you
routes.
know that pharmaceutical industry is a mean one,
Yeah,
and
that's
they need their money. So
yeah, I know.
they're definitely gonna always push for a medication no
Yeah,
matter what. But sometimes that doesn't work, and sometimes it does. I mean, I'm not totally against it. I'm not a copy and a paste person.
right.
I think every person deals with something else, and that's what makes us unique. Like we're different in our own way, and one experience for me could be resolved just from me having a mentor or someone who actually listened
Yeah.
without combating me or saying you should be stronger, be you got this. Like, and it's just like, well, I'm coming to you because I don't.
Yeah.
Like
And we're like we're human beings having like a spiritual experience and we have emotions. So for to your point to tell people don't have emotions, that's why the one of the reasons why the world is so messed up.
yes.
Cause people tell you chill out on your emotions. No. I mean, if you're gonna harm somebody, by all means chill out on your emotions. But like, no, why
Harm
can't
someone
I
or yourself. Chill out.
chill? Like, why can't I express my emotions? Why do I have to I don't know, man. The world could
Hide
just
them.
yeah, or just I this is deep. This is my mind is expanding.
Yeah, I always say another thing that just popped in my head was like sometimes people will say like, "Oh, well what's wrong then?" And then I'll hear a kid say, "I don't know." They're like, "Oh, well if you don't know then nothing wrong with you."
And that's to my point about the medications, like you saying, well, you could get pushback. Sometimes kids don't know that, hey, this is what the fuck? Like, because these a lot of these medications, they don't treat the problems, they treat symptoms.
Ah,
You're treating
yes.
symptoms. You're not even being
You putting a
diagnosed.
band-aid on
You're
it.
putting a band girl, I don't even know if you're doing that. You putting a little liquid Band-Aid
Yeah,
on it. I don't even
exactly.
know. Like
Don't go
it's
swimming with
a
it.
little and going swimming with it. Like I just it just doesn't make sense. Like, but
It's all about that money, or
that smells lovely.
we don't have enough education within our own communities to even know to push back or to even know if what we're seeing is just like a teenager acting out, or is it a kid that is really just screaming for help. But I don't think a lot of times we even put in enough effort to distinguish between the
And you
two.
know what it is? Because the main people that would see these things and should be the ones noticing these things are the educators, but they're burnt out because they don't get no love. And that's irritating. Like these are the people that are educating our future. And you telling me, like I have friends that are educators. The things that y'all have to do, the funds, the personal funds that y'all have to
Mm.
invest, like in these school systems have funds, like it's ridiculous. Y'all are the ones
I
that's
feel like we
educating our
could
future.
talk like this topic can like put me into it like a tangent. Like I can literally just go on and hit so many different areas. Like I literally get so frustrated, like, and it's me being completely vulnerable with people that I work with that, and I'm not just talking about this job. It's been, I mean, because I've been in this profession for like 10 years
Yeah.
now. Like, it's fresh out of high school. I mean, not high school, fresh out of college. I was working with kids. So I've been doing this for a while, and it bothers me when there's a new face in to a new environment with kids and it's so much negativity push, like, oh, these kids, they, no, don't, stop doing that. Sometimes this is a fresh face, a fresh perspective. Allow them to do their job and figure out what's going on, because every kid isn't bad. I say this, who wants to be in a bad mood? That's drink. No
As a
one wants,
kid,
no one wants that.
and you're
No
supposed to be your
one.
freest and your happiest. And
Exactly. So no one's, and I'm not gonna say, let me backtrack. Not everyone wants to
be
be
in
in
a
a
bad
bad
mood.
mood.
'Cause some people do, that's a comfort
Some,
zone. Some
yes,
people do like to
some
be in bad
people
moods.
do like to be in bad
We
moods,
don't
but for
vibrate
the
that.
most part, that it feels heavy,
Mhm.
and especially as a kid, and then you don't know how to express yourself on top of all that, and then you don't have that support system that you really need. I just kind of like just hate that for them, and I really wish our community would tap into mental health a little bit more and understand the importance of it and not think that it's cool to check on yourself.
Yeah.
Rather, that's your mental health or your teeth. Like, go to the doctor.
Go
Like,
to the doctor, go to the eye doctor, go to the dentist, go to, because your
yes.
teeth are connected to your brain, your eyes are connected to your brain. Go to get your checkups. All of that plays a role. Get some sunlight, drink water, spring water preferably. But no, to your point, yeah, girl, that got chemicals in it. The fuck?
It
You don't see
does.
it's an ingredients list on your water bottle, dog.
Well, it's make my teeth white.
Is it that or is it the fluoride? But no, to your point, why do adults be acting like that? Like you was never a kid. Excuse my language. I know that wasn't proper grammar,
Whatever.
but we were literally all babies. We were literally all
And
kids.
we made mistakes and we bumped our head.
Somebody hurt your feelings and knocked your creativity, and now you a mean little grumpy old adult. Give these kids some grace. They're growing up in a
I
world.
so love that grace.
They're growing up in an unprecedented times. I mean, I know there's nothing new under the sun,
I mean, yeah,
but
we've all been through some things, but we all could have received a little more grace
yeah.
while moving through it. I
But
feel
then
like,
too, these kids, be respectful.
and that's another thing.
I don't have to deal with that because they know Coach Rachel don't play. Because we'll
I
hit
told
these
a kid
burpees real
today,
quick, but
I said, just start practicing now. They was like, practicing what? And I was like, can I take your order?
I tell my kids, like, how you act now, I promise you, it's how you gonna be when you graduate. What, you 14? You graduate, what, 17, 18?
You're
Who
going
you
to be
are
the
at 14
same
is who you about to be.
unless you work on it.
Unless you work on it with these next 4 years. Because if you're a follower now and you choose to go to school, or you're gonna be a follower at school.
For
You do
sure.
not want to be a follower in college.
Woo!
Drugs. That's how
You
you
gonna
get
end
your
up on the
drugs.
news butt naked doing something.
And then it's on the internet. Okay. But no, on a serious note, if there are
Yeah.
any resources in the community regarding mental health or anything that you feel ties into mental health, we would love to collaborate with you, have you here, support your business, whatever that is. So please, comment,
And
email
because
us.
this is a mental health episode, I don't know everything, but I've seen on TV how people like put up and say, like, if you're going through anything and you need to reach out. I don't have any like information offhand, but you can always call 211 if you're ever depressed or you're ever going through something and thinking about harming yourself or anybody else. Just call 211 and they'll be able to direct you in the right direction.
I appreciate that. And I'm not gonna make a promise, but if we do find some resources and we send them to you, are you able to add them in at the end of the episode? No, we're gonna try to do that. But if we don't, please don't
Yeah,
not
but you can always
come back.
call 211
Yeah,
and they'll have
211.
all your answers. So,
So
this is another episode.
of Millennial Diaries, and I appreciate this. I hope we
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. I hope we help somebody today.
Yes. See you guys next time.
Thank you for watching.